Let me start with the person who left you. Your partner, your lover, the one who walked out of your life to be with this third party. Right now, their life is a nightmare. I want you to hear me on that before we go into anything else. Because I'm getting this heavy, suffocating energy around them. They thought they were leaving you for something better, something sweet and calm and easy, like a soft summer beach. And baby, they walked straight into chaos. I'll show you exactly what they're living now later in this reading, and trust me, you're not going to feel sad about it. This is karma, plain and simple. But first, I have to take you all the way back, because how this started is deeper and darker than you think. This wasn't just someone charming your partner away. Something was done to you. Something was buried. And it's the real reason your relationship fell apart. Stay with me. Here's the truth you may not know. This third person was never actually obsessed with your partner. They were obsessed with you. Because I can see this person was a dreamer. They were dreaming about the life you were living and how happy you were in it. They didn't care about your lover. They dreamed about your life and how good it looked, and they wanted to prove they could live your dream. They wanted to prove they could take something valuable from you and keep it for themselves. Maybe your partner was valuable to you, maybe not, but they believed it, and they believed that taking it would bring them peace and make their little dream feel successful. And they came in with deception, no sincerity. They hid everything behind a charming, innocent, cutesy personality, trying to look harmless. They saw you as prey, as a prize, as something to win. They studied your whole relationship like a target, presenting themselves as sweet and safe, someone your person could confide in. Then I'm getting this vision of meat, and that usually means obsession and possession. So this third party viewed your partner as something they needed to obtain, and it came from a very unhealthy attachment, from jealousy, from competition with you. This was never love. If you've been sitting there thinking, maybe I love them less, maybe they left for true love, let me tell you honestly, no. It was about possession. It was like winning a trophy. They just wanted what belonged to someone else. But charm alone didn't break you two apart. Something darker did, and I'll get to it. First, you need to know who was standing right next to you the whole time. I'm getting this roller coaster energy. And think about it. Who do you ride a roller coaster with? Not alone. You ride it with your lover, and usually with friends. There are always people right behind you on that ride. Your partner had a friend who knew exactly what was going on. Maybe that friend didn't approve of it, but they knew. And they just told themselves, why should I tell them? I have to protect my friend. So a lot of those coffee dates and hangouts your partner mentioned, where they used the friend's name as cover, that friend was actually there too, because they needed them to make the excuse believable. You'd see them out and think, oh, they're just with their friends, and you didn't see the extra person standing between them. And here's what breaks my heart. A roller coaster is the person you share your highs and your pain with. That friend sat through the good and bad phases of your relationship. They came to your home. They spent weekends with you. And still, not once did they think, maybe I should warn them. Even if your partner wasn't fully cheating yet, that friend could have said, hey, your person is talking to someone. But they kept their mouth shut. So for some of you, your relationship is over. Your partner may already have a new partner, and that same friend is hanging out with them like nothing happened. Maybe you thought they were innocent, that they weren't even that close to you. But they're equally guilty here. You're just too innocent, baby. If you didn't know before, now you know, and this is your confirmation. Now here's the darker thing I promised you. I'm getting this evil eye. Maybe you believe in it, maybe you don't. But your relationship caught the evil eye, and it happens exactly like this, when you share your happiness openly on social media. That's why so many of us say, keep your relationship private. That's why you see celebrities hiding theirs, because they're exposed to millions of people and the risk is higher. Your relationship caught it from someone so jealous of what you had that they wished evil on you. Because let me be honest with you, this third person gave your partner attention and it didn't trap them. They sent flirty and even sexual messages, and it still didn't break you two apart. Your partner was talking to them, sure, and maybe something was quietly growing, but they still weren't leaving you. So what finally made them leave? They used black magic. And I know that's a lot to hear, but this is a general reading, and I'm picking up a lot of people's energy at once, so I have to tell you everything I see, even the dark parts. And here's the thing, this third person doesn't actually have any psychic gift of their own. For some of you, you are far more intuitive than they are. So they brought in another third person, a so-called psychic, someone to cast that evil energy onto your relationship. And they had to take something from you first. Because in this witch bones energy, I can see hair, and it's on a leg pointing down into the ground, buried. And there's a heart exposed, with the bone showing through. So I'm seeing that they took your hair, or something red from you, a red cloth, a lipstick, a handkerchief, something that represented your love. And maybe something small from your lover too, an accessory close to their heart. Then they handed it all to that psychic, who buried your things in the ground with cloth and thread. And your things may still be buried there right now. They chose cursed land, negative ground. Because when something that belongs to you is placed in that kind of energy, it spreads into your relationship. Maybe they picked a place where a tragedy happened, where someone was sick or died, a place heavy with grief. And do you know why you started feeling so suffocated in that relationship, even when things seemed fine? Or why your partner suddenly started feeling suffocated with you? That's why. One of you carried that heaviness, because your things were buried under that cursed ground. And eventually, one of you wanted out. And who was standing right there, waiting for that exact moment to pull them toward that easy, sunny escape? That third person. For a few of you, this goes even darker. And this part isn't for everyone. Some of them took your items to a cemetery, to truly evil ground. And a few weeks later, verbal abuse started. Your partner changed. Something in them shifted, maybe even became a little abusive, because I'm seeing that dark cemetery energy transferred straight into your relationship. And around that time, you started having bad dreams, disturbing ones. That was your intuition trying to warn you that something had been done to you, even though you couldn't name it yet. So take this as your confirmation. Now let me show you how they pulled this off, because it wasn't quick. It feels like months of preparation. Not 1 month, more like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. That's how it built up. They saw your relationship somewhere, maybe on social media, maybe at a celebration or festival. I'm seeing loud music, some kind of gathering, maybe you posting your happiness. They saw you around 4 or 5 months ago, or it could even go back years. It doesn't matter. What matters is they didn't come in directly. It was months of jealousy building. I want to break that relationship, almost subconsciously. On the surface, they told themselves, I love that guy. But underneath, they were jealous of your happiness. And there was a deadline, not for you, but for them. Because if your relationship had survived that phase, if you'd moved toward marriage, a baby, sharing your lives, it would have been almost impossible to break. So they had to move fast. So they went looking for knowledge, YouTube videos. How do I seduce this person? How do I make someone obsessed with me? Their first step was contacting your partner secretly, DMs, comments, any way in. Because once you're around someone enough, that familiarity creates a liking. They may have followed your partner into a shared space too, bought a gym membership. Oh, you work out here too? Somewhere they could be seen every day. But at first, your partner wasn't giving them attention. And this person couldn't stand it because they thought so highly of themselves, so they pushed harder. Since time was running out, they brought in lust. They forced sexual chemistry, flirty, how are you messages that turned into something more, images, videos, whatever it was. And if you look back at that third-party social media in the months before your partner left, you'll probably see very seductive posting, signals, I'm here, you can want me. If they shared a gym or a space, they were making eye contact, giving off that energy every way they could. And we have to mention the beach. It's giving sunny, summery energy. Maybe you live somewhere hot. Maybe it was summer when this started. Now, some of you will say, but it happened in winter. No, baby, listen. They carried out the plan in summer. Your person may have left in winter, but since this took months, the plan itself started in the summer heat. It's giving that beach and sexual tension energy, this surfer waiting to pull your suffocated partner toward the water. Now let me bring you back to right now, because this is the part you've been waiting for. I'm getting full moon energy, which means something was exposed, brought into the light. Because here's the truth. When you do black magic on someone, a portion of it crawls back with you. It leaves a mark. That's why there's always a warning, because it always comes back. And if you live inside that energy long enough, it's like taking a little poison every day. So the same energy they used to steal your partner is now spreading through their new relationship like poison. Slowly at first, but now fast and harsh. And here's the shapeshift. This new person your partner left you for has a completely changing personality. 1 minute happy, the next sad, the next angry, childish reactions over the smallest things. Even when they could respond calmly, they snap. Why didn't you reply? Why didn't we go out? Always in that irritated voice. And your partner had no idea. They thought they were getting a cute little puppy, and instead they got a bulldog. Sweet energy that turned into toxic cat energy, something that scratches you every time you get close. This is poison, toxic, unhealthy behavior in every form. And this relationship has become so much worse than yours ever was. Remember your partner said they felt suffocated with you? Now what they feel is pure exhaustion. It's like they're raising a child instead of loving a partner. They became a caregiver, not a lover. Every small thing turns into a huge fight, and this person's personality keeps shifting under them. And you know what's funny? This is what a truly suffocating relationship looks like, not what they had with you. That's karma. What else can you call it? Remember how your partner used to take your problems to a third person whose opinions helped break you two apart? The same pattern is repeating, except this time the problems are real. Constant fighting, like children, both of them going at it like cats and dogs, and your partner running to a third person about it while everyone watches it fall apart. And it's not behind closed doors anymore. This is the medicine energy. It's out in public. Friends and family see them fighting, and people have to step in. Please stop. You're always fighting. People are already questioning whether this relationship will last, maybe even less time than yours did, because it was built on a fake foundation. And this new person always thinks they're right, so your partner never wins an argument. They just get more drained. Some of them have actually started taking anxiety or depression medication, or going to therapy to make sense of what's happening. Everything moved so fast, and now, in the late hours of the night, it's catching up. When I started reading your cards, the energy was summery, and now it's deep nighttime energy, someone lying awake, unable to sleep, thinking and thinking. Maybe they even fight at night and end up in separate rooms. The color is gone. This started on lust, and now everything feels black and white and dead, and the only colorful thing left is their medicine. And here's the holier than thou. This relationship is going to end, and soon. I'm getting 7 months as the maximum. Maybe one of you has a 7 in your phone number, but your partner can't just walk out immediately because they created so much drama leaving you that now their reputation is on the line. If they bail too fast, people will assume they were the problem all along. But we know the truth. This third person is 100 times more toxic. And who actually enjoys being with a childish person every single day? That's what your partner is stuck with now. This new person doesn't want to take responsibility, doesn't want to work, just wants to latch onto someone. So your partner has become the caretaker. And if they stay in this longer than half a year to a year, I can see one of them actually needing a caregiver for real, a serious health problem, something needing treatment. It's more mental than physical, but it's giving hospital energy. Someone genuinely going to the hospital because of this relationship. Not police energy, hospital energy. And that kind of caretaking isn't toxic when you've loved someone for years, when it doesn't feel like a burden because the love is real. But this was built on lust and stolen through black magic, and now one of them has to become a caretaker this early. That doesn't last. There's almost no real compatibility here, far less than what you and your partner had. Your partner doesn't even like childish people, and that's exactly what they're stuck with. This is the divorce final and used hybrid energy, something worn out, settled for, running on empty. And I don't think you'll find all this out through social media, though you might catch pieces. There's a very high chance you're going to hear about it from someone, and soon. Maybe you already have. And when that news reaches you, you're not going to feel sad. You'll hear it within less than a month, that's almost certain, because this is going to become a public, messy breakup with a lot of people getting involved. And your partner can't just leave, because they left you claiming you were suffocating them, and now they're the one drowning. So this is where the intervention comes in. Someone is going to rescue them. Maybe even that same friend who never warned you is going to turn around and say, "This new person is worse than your last one. You should leave. Take time for yourself." A close friend or family member is going to step in and pull your partner out of this. That's how it ends. And you're going to hear something about it within a month, if you haven't already.